Just don't. All right, so yeah, so it's still a record class. It won't face you guys. That's weird and creepy. It just faces the board. So if you guys are gone sick at an event, you guys will can watch it on the website. I'll show you that later. So, but yeah, you guys are in here until what? 47. So if you're that clock watcher, there you go. So 47. Okay. So welcome. Hopefully you put your cell phones in the caddy. If you haven't put your cell phone in the caddy, let's stand up and go do that now. Max is going to be boring. You already heard the spiel once, so it's going to be boring for you. It's the pains of switching schedules. Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, every day, walk in, put them in the back caddy. Don't even question it, just put it back there. I'll just trust that you did it. I'm not going to be that person that goes through and checks. Just if it goes off in your pocket and you haven't put it back there, then you lose it. So just put it back there when you walk in. I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so welcome to PreCalc. So it's kind of a big step from Algebra 2. There's kind of a gap. So I think there's huge leaps in mathematics. One of the big leaps is going from geometry to Algebra 2. There's a massive leap there. The next leap is obviously when you get to like the calc level, pre-calc calc. That's another massive leap. Then everything after that just kind of falls into place. But this class in particular covers everything you need so that when you go to Calc 1, you understand the topics they're talking about. It's not going to cover everything in calc. That's a completely different class. It's to get you prepared for calculus. That's why it's a pre-calc class. There's a lot. We cover a massive amount of topics. There are some topics in here that we cover from Algebra 2 because I want you to be prepared, right? You came from Algebra 2 last year. There's stuff you've obviously forgot or you didn't get to or just you weren't very proficient at it. Well, I do cover that. So don't feel like I'm just going to leave you on an island and you have to be thrown in the deep end. It's not going to be that way. So class usually from other classes that have taken this before, it's not too bad. There's some particular chapters people hate. I understand that because they're just challenging. But I'll get you through, as I always do. So, but yeah, so I'll skip the intro stuff. If you don't know, I know we have a new student. So I'm Mr. Ward, you can call me that. I'm a mentor model teacher, so for you guys, I think this same couple years ago, there will still be random educators that walk in here, kind of observe every now and then. They're not watching you guys, they're watching the class, what the lessons are. So just, yeah, so don't be thrown off by that when they're just kind of in here, like an admin walks in, sits down. They're just here to watch maybe the lessons. Maybe there's some like topic in our professional development as teachers that we're supposed to be covering, and they want to see how I cover it, that type of thing. But I'm a Ventura grad, graduated back in 2001. You guys know that. That's years ago, back in Ventura. Went to Iowa State, graduated with a bachelor's in mathematics, a minor in psychology, and nearly had a minor in science and history, a ton of grad psychology. And then coaching certified, coached almost everything except for wrestling, soccer, and baseball, softball. Those are the only sports I haven't coached yet. But yeah, a little bit about me. Class materials, these are the non-negotiables. You guys know the drill if you've had me before. Pencil, pen, if it's erasable. No crayons, markers, stuff like that. Textbook, you will get a book. You will have to put a book cover on it. It's really big. It's a thick book. You'll need to put a book cover on it. A lot of them are falling apart just because they're so big. When you put them in a locker, they just break. Like, they're really nice textbooks. They're somewhat newer, but they're so big that the spine breaks because there's so much weight behind it. The glue they use isn't very good. So be careful putting it in your locker. Don't damage it. If it already comes to you damaged, just let me know. We'll try to get you a better copy. I have a ton of copies of this textbook, so we can get you maybe a better one that isn't so much broken. There is an online somewhat version, which it's not a real like online. It's just a website that somebody has scanned in all the pages, and you can flip through them. It's not like it's not a formal like online textbook. I will give you the link to that, even though it's probably not legal for me to do that. I'm going to provide you that link because I know sometimes having that book is a pain. It is. It's too big, it's heavy, and you don't want to break it sometimes. Now, the only issue with the online version is it doesn't have every chapter. I don't know why. It only has a select few chapters in it. So, and you'll notice that right off the bat when you start clicking through it. You'll need a notebook, a dedicated notebook, not loose paper. You need a dedicated notebook. We take a ton of notes. There's a ton of stuff we'll do here in the first 2-3 weeks of like review from Algebra 1, from Geometry and Algebra 2 to get you prepared for what you're about to step into. You'll need a calculator, something like this, little $10 cheapies, nothing super expensive. Don't go out and buy the $100 calculator. You don't need that. Something that has the scientific keys. I always have 10 of these, like spares, but if you need to borrow it, that's fine. Just don't leave with it. I do want them back. I bought some new ones this year. And then you'll need your Chromebook because there's stuff that we will have to go research. I have to go look up stuff every now and then. So these are the non-negotiables. Need them every day. Don't ask. You just need them. So questions with material, stuff that you might need. But yeah, don't go buy the expensive calculators. Speaking of textbook, here's the textbook. As of this morning, it's about $100. So it goes up and down. Yeah, so I expect it to come back in the same condition it left. Just be careful because that spine is really thin. It does break. It's a really big book. It's got 1,200 pages. It's bigger than that geometry book you had a couple years ago. That was a big book. This is really big. It's really thick. Yeah, so it's not Dead Poet Society. I expect every page to be in there. Don't rip any chapters out. We do not go in order for the chapters. I bounce around a lot just because of just to order things and how they logically progress. So expect to cover chapter P, which is the prerequisites. That's the stuff we do in the beginning of the first couple weeks here. We go through about chapter 4, we jump 5 to 9 roughly, somewhere in that range, and then we finish with chapter 11. That's the calc stuff. So, but I don't go in order. We don't hit every chapter. There's just, sometimes there's like little pieces that I pick from a chapter so that we need. But yeah, that will cover the whole year. I mean, that doesn't seem like a lot. It's a lot. Especially when you see like the first chapter, the prerequisite, I think the first section is like 126 pages. The first section, section 1.1 is 126 pages long. And you're like, whoa, because it covered everything in Algebra 2 in one section. Like, has an entire book in one section. So, yeah, just be prepared for that. It's quite, it's quite wordy. There's tons of problems and examples. I'll do some book stuff. I'll do some worksheets. I'll do some Google Forms stuff. So I'm going to kind of range it up on the types of homework that you're going to see. So you're not always getting the same type. You're not just getting worksheets all the time. You're not always just getting book questions every time. Sometimes there'll be a range. Calculators, those are good ones, little $5 cheapies. Don't buy the $189 thing. That's stupid. I know that it has calc functions. You can type in solve and it will do math problems, but can't use it in college. Don't buy it. The little $10 thing that's been upgraded to that's fine. I like those. These are the ones I prefer. And then this is the one that when you get to calc in college, they actually recommend that you get this one. It's in level TI-84. Don't buy it now. It's dumb. Don't do it. I will provide you for this class. I'll provide you an online calculator. Let's see if I think I have a poster of it, which is kind of weird. Oh, just a little card. I'll provide you an online calculator. Looks like this. It looks like a graphing calculator that you can just use your mouse and click and it'll do all the fancy stuff, graph and all that. I'll provide you a link to that. It's free. I just bookmark it on the Chromebook. So it's pretty nice. It'll do all the same functionality that thing does, but it's free. So it's nice. You don't even have to worry about it. If we ever get to a test or something, you're not allowed to use the online version. So you'll have to know how to do some certain things by hand. So there's certain things I do expect as I teach it. So don't feel like I'm going to leave you on, stranded in how to do stuff. I'll teach you how to do it by hand and as well as a calculator, because at some point you will need to use a calculator. So, okay, questions on any of that stuff? Perfect. Now let's get into the boring stuff. Expectations. I expect to be quiet. There's 21 of you in here right now, something like that. That's a big class. It needs to be quiet. There's some people that have problems with having lively conversations when I'm trying to talk up here and talk about new material, because we'll talk about new material a lot. Like almost every day we're going through something new. It's not just a rehash. Like we do stuff one day and then we do homework the next. It's not. Some days I'm teaching like 3 or 4 days in a row to cover the material. So be prepared. So you got to be coming in here every single day with that mindset that I need to learn something new. Respect to classmates, because obviously if you're going to be too loud, they won't be able to learn, and then I'm going to have those kids with hot tempers that snap at each other. So just make sure you respect your classmates. Take responsibility for an education and challenge yourself. This class can be easy, but I know there's certain chapters that they are tough. They are tough chapters, just from previous years and what kids have said. So when we get there, we'll take our time, but you got to be prepared. Like this is a college level entry course. Like you need to mentally prepare yourself. Like this is going to get hard at some point, like really hard. So, but yeah, I'll try to prepare you the best I can, as always. Now, classroom policies: don't disrupt class. Don't be the class clown. Do your homework. I expect that homework to be done on the due dates. Don't wait. Get it done. Turn it in. I always give you a couple days to work on it. There are some days I don't assign a lot of homework, and then there's some days it will seem like a lot, but it goes quick. So it's hard to predict, how people see the homework. You're assigned a textbook. You'll have a seating arrangement, which will switch now, because obviously you see pods day. It'll switch a lot. It'll go to rows. It'll go to other things. So I'll switch it every couple days now that I can. So cell phones, I expect you to just put them in the caddy when you walk in. Don't wait. And if you have any disability challenges, let me know. Health-wise, stuff like that. I'm deaf, that's why I talk really loud. But if you have any other challenges, like you can't see, you're having a migraine, that type of stuff, you gotta let me know. And then I don't accept cheating, and especially in this class. This class can get tough. You gotta do your own work. I don't mind that you're helping each other out, but you gotta do your own work. You can't be that person that just, copies your neighbor or goes on Slater and copies whatever they write, because whoever runs Slater is not very good at math. They just aren't. So whoever runs that website doesn't know how to do math particularly well. So, all right. Anyway, yeah, homework 2 to 3 assignments a week. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're big. 10 to 15 problems. I usually don't go more than 15 problems, just because the stuff we do in here, it can get rough. It can get tough too. Just because the topics we're covering, that it can take a long time. There's some stuff when we're graphing, it could take an hour to do some of the homeworks that we do, just for some problems, not all of it. So when I assign a due date, you better work on it each day. I give you time in class as always. You better take that time and use every second of it, because you will have a ton of homework that you have to do on your own if you don't. And you guys have class, you have things outside this building that, that you have a life that you have to live, especially when you're in sports and you're in other things, or you work all the time. So you're gonna have to try to make time and get things done. Schedule stuff, when you're off of work, take time to do your homework, or do it during class and during the study hall. Don't wait. Late work, there's a small time frame. 10 days, I don't accept late work anymore. 10 days and it's gone. I cut it off. I'm gonna write down all the assignments on a calendar. After 10 days, I don't accept it anymore. So just be aware of that. You can redo assignments if you completed it in the first place. So I know there's always gonna be that kid that tries to do, they do their homework, they only do 1 or 2 questions. They're like, I'll just redo it later for full credit. You only get to redo the problems you attempted, not all of it. So if you only did 2 problems, you only get to redo 2 problems. So you better try them all. So test quizzes, you can always retake every test once, every test. You guys know the drill. And then quizzes, you can't retake, we do a pop quiz. Expect 2 tests a quarter and some quizzes spread in between there, but then homework is most of our time. The sections we're in, especially this first couple weeks, we might be in one section for a couple days in a row, 2-3 days, just because, like I said, the first section is all of Algebra 2 in one section. So we have some stuff to cover. So I'm going to try to break it up logically. So sometimes we're outside the textbook a little bit. Grading policies, you guys know the drill. 90s are A's, 80s are B's, 70s are C's, 60s are D's, and F's is a 0. Grading policy, I'm still going to the 40-40-20 unless the admin tells me otherwise, because that's default. If they want us to go to the 45-45-10 for quarter semester test, yes, we take semester tests. If they want me to go that, I'll clearly warn you of that. Right now they say it's just going to stay normal, so 40-40-20. Okay, so, and then obviously the grade book has 3 categories. Homework is 55% of your grade. You still can't pass if you do all the homework. You have to pass the tests and quizzes as well. So make sure you're taking your time on those. I can tell the people who cheat. You pass all the homework with 100% and then you fail every test. That's a big red flag to me, that you're not doing your own work. It's common sense. You didn't do your homework. The reason why, I take your homework, I copy and paste, and I put them on the test. A couple problems from that assignment, I take 2 or 3 of them and I put them on the test. Just copy and paste. I don't make up anything new. So when you're suddenly failing all those test questions, you didn't do your homework because it was your homework question you just failed. So keep that in mind. And then obviously participation. There's things we're gonna have to research on your Chromebooks. There's some stuff we're gonna be outside the textbook a little bit. You cannot come in here, you cannot be that person that just sleeps through class or just space off. You will not pass this course. It's too hard for that. Okay? Website, still gonna run it unless it becomes abused. So I'm gonna post videos every day, as you guys can see, until I notice people are like, well, I'm just gonna watch the video and do it at home. And then that's the last day I do the website. So do the work in class. If you're gone for a legitimate reason, then that's what the website's for. So I have 3 links. They all go to the same. I don't know about this one. I don't know if it's hsmath.org or .com. I forget what that one is. But MrWord.org or GHB Math, that's probably the one that most people use. It'll go to the same website. It got all the links for daily lessons at the top. It'll be all the drop downs for PreCalc. And then archives all the other previous years. You can use all the other videos from previous years. And it's got, videos from every day. I don't edit any of the videos, so if it's a train wreck of class, it's going to be a train wreck online. I don't edit. I don't want to put any mental thought into it. It'll have lesson plans. It'll have it'll have links to any of the web stuff that we talk about, or Google Forms, or any worksheets. It'll have versions so you can download them and reprint them. I'll still use JMC. So JMC, I'll still have what the basic lessons were, what the homework was, due dates, all that good stuff. But I think the website's just nice because you can watch videos and it's clear and it's graphical and it looks pretty. So I'll still do that until it becomes abused, and then I'll just cut it off right there. So, because it's nice when you can go back and watch a video a couple of times to see if you're doing something right or wrong, or just I don't remember how to do that, or you're studying for a test. But the minute it starts to become abused, where people don't start working on homework when in class and they just want to wait to get home to just watch the website instead of paying attention in class, then it goes away. So there's no ads. I don't collect any revenue. That's illegal. I can't do that. So it's pretty bare bones. It's just what you need. Okay, questions about anything? I've talked a lot. Okay, you're gonna get textbooks tomorrow. Let me show you a copy of what I'm talking about with textbooks. They're huge. Some of them are somewhat new, some are not. So we'll have to do some switching out tomorrow when you guys get your textbook. Here it is. This is literally one of your student copies. So it's big, it's thick. This is an old one. I've used this one for quite a few years now. But they're big. If you drop that thing, it snaps instantly and papers come out of it. So just be aware of that. You'll need to get a book cover on it, so make sure you're aware of that. And I'll give you the link to the online website, which isn't the prettiest. But class website, here it is. This is what it looks like today. Here's the basic website. It's got all the links for all the videos and stuff on it. So we'll go through this stuff tomorrow, just so you're aware of the links and all this stuff and how it works. But it'll take you to the links, and if we talk about any topics, if we had any PowerPoints, and if there's any assignments due, and the class videos, so which are posted on YouTube still. So, but yeah, we'll go through all the major class stuff tomorrow. So, but that's all I got. Anything else that I need to be aware of? All right, that's all I got for today. Yeah, you want to hit the power button on that camera?
Yeah, this one.